lot of these heroes are banned out.
So you're okay, Monkey King?
Yeah, mainly because of the Viper ban.
So if we did the safe lane tiny and then the
I think then if you did that scenario, which also I actually like that as well, like a mid windrunner, a carry tiny, it does answer the threats that you have, and then you'd go for a very active starter 4 with a bit of pressure, like a Willow or something, just to have chip and poke.
looks like
they just go for
they went TA. They went
overlay may have broken a little bit.
So does carry tiny with the carry-esque mid.
So I didn't see you there. The name's Capitalist.
Going into in-game to watch the rest of the draft. So what did we end up going?
We saw a TA. So they do the carry tiny with a more carry-esque mid.
So 4-position Wind Ranger mid TA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I think that's it gives them a way to apply pressure, and it's that team timing, quick correction of TA. And it's just the question is, can they get that group and huddle? Because now they don't have a scaling win condition. It's more of like a 30-minute timing, and maybe Winstrike can play around that with their last pick.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and jump over to our casters. We've got Moxie and Fog to be able to talk about the game further.
All right, well, our earlier series had a lot of surprises, but this time around, you know, it seems like a fairly standard draft coming out from the side of VP. And Winstrike, you know, they're going to try their best. They did pick up a very early Broodmother.
They did. Just stating exactly the type of game that they do want to play. VP, no funny business today, though. I thought maybe we'd see them do some, you know, some type of funner picks, because we have heard them in a couple of their interviews. They try to challenge themselves, but this does not look like they are. This is just a straightforward draft that they've gone for. The carry tiny a few times as they've ran, and they do pick the TA. That one is a little bit new, for sure, but can definitely see the reasoning. But that's why we also see the reasoning for the Rebel Bat Rider. See how he's able to at least capitalize versus this TA.
Off to a quiet start as expected here. Definitely going to be annoying playing against all of that sticky napalm.
Yes, a great hero to be able to burn those refractions. In mid-game, easy ways to always catch and kill as well. They've got a lot of good ways to kill that TA, so they did kind of force it, but that is the style that VP wanted to go for. And they also just wanted to have this tiny up here versus the Brood. As we saw a couple of those bans coming out, they banned out the Spend, they banned out the Troll on the side of Winstrike, so they were putting VP into a tougher position to at least deal with the Brood. But I don't think VP is very fussed about this at all. It's a very standard combo they've ran so many times. AA tiny, good in laning phase, good burst when you do start moving around. And of course, we've seen DM so many times on this Axe. He's just taken over so many games too. And you know, they did have this flexible kind of style they could do too. I was a bit surprised that they did go for PA on the side of Dyrachyo, because they did see that Wind Ranger, but they knew, you know, Save, he absolutely loves Wind Ranger, so they did not really care if it was going to be in this matchup. I think you might have to care a little bit here. It is a very aggressive lane. Axe and Wind Ranger just constantly poking Phantom Assassin, and I'm sure can struggle versus this a bit to push away that aggression.
I think it is pretty interesting, the fact that Safe has very specific heroes, right? Like, he's fairly young, and he's already got these heroes that people, you see it get picked up, you're like, that's got to be Safe, you know?
I love
That's got to be this particular person playing this hero, because he's so incredibly good with it.
Yeah, I love the confidence that he does have, though. Like, even when we saw, like, the jungle Huskar and stuff like that, that just shows a player has a clear understanding of a game and what he needs to do. So, I'm a big fan of when I see players do stuff like that.
Now, it's not super common that we see this tiny being run in the safe lane in these particular regions, you know, both Western and European, rather Eastern European area. How does this differ in terms of, you know, the way that they're going to play this? Because usually, you know, you'll see someone in the mid lane playing the tiny, and then, of course, the Ancient Apparition will join up with them and become the gank squad.
Yeah, it's a little bit slower. It's more about your own game rather than securing, like, your carry's farm in particular. So it's going to take him a little bit longer to get the Blink Dagger, but besides that, it's the same build. You're going to get, like, I guess as mid you go phase boots, but as carry you're going to go your treads, then you're just going to go blink afterwards, likely Echo Saber. Similar kind of style as Courier just walks in and dies to Nightfall. Okay, a bit of a slip up there from Cheshire. And he's going to go Soul Ring, as you do need some type of mana item, as Autumn, we were mentioning. That heavy aggression from these two is always there. And Pentaman can't even connect with the Inkswell. But yeah, you have to get a type of mana item on these tinies. Since you don't have a bottle, since you're side lane, Soul Ring, it fits Absolutely perfect layers. Mid GPK holding his own very nicely here versus the Batrider. Usually these Batriders can take advantage of a TA a lot of the times, just a pop back, but GPK playing nicely around these stickies.
He's gonna back off, go and farm up the small camp.
Yep.
Classic moves here coming out from a TA.
Yeah. It's just even better. I'm actually a big fan of TA right now. I think this hero is a different beast, even toward later stages. I used to not really like that hero late bottom.
Goodness.
Shouldn't be able to kill him off, but it's this constant harassment. He's just having to blow all his regen. How much do they actually have left down here? They only have 2 tangos left on Dyrachyo, and he's super low.
Well, top lane though, Nightfall's gonna have to throw the avalanche out. Sitting a little too close for comfort here as the Abbott just continuously running out, trying to get the air spike. Not going to be able to quite connect it though. It was a valiant effort, but we're gonna go grab up this bounty room.
GPK is just running in to contest this.
Yeah, he's not afraid.
Firefly's down, so he knows he can make those type of aggressive moves. He doesn't have to worry about that quick refraction burning. Top though, this Brood versus that tiny matchup, you know, that low armor does come into play versus Insatiable Hunger.
Oh, wait, no, I couldn't.
So we do see Cheshire Cat able to hit him back nicely.
Cheshire Cat's been making some nice plays this DPC, and then you say that too though, but over on the other off lane, DM. Man, he is so good on these playmaking heroes. You know, we've seen him on the center, we've seen him on the Magnus, and especially with Axe too, so.
Yeah, he's just bullying.
Difficult time here for Dyrachyo.
Yep, love the build. 1-2. You get the Hunger at level 2. You only need the 1 point in spin because it's not that effective. Even though it's like pure damage, you want to just be able to poke from a distance with this Battle Hunger and just be super annoying. So I do like that he's gone for this.
This is the poke lane for sure when you've got a Wind Ranger and an Axe or Pantherman. He's doing the best he can. He hasn't, hasn't fallen to any of them just yet, as the pressure's definitely on Dyrachyo.
He can just put
fall off.
As we see that with the shackles, just to get in connection with the call. And we see this from Save like every time. He doesn't get power shot at level 2 ever that I've seen him play the lane. Like almost never. He always gets shackled, always gets his win run to survive as top.
Cheshire Cat. He's got that Insatiable Hunger. Is going to be able to just lifesteal back up again, but was looking a little bit scary for a moment.
I like that he brought the raindrop up here. Very important always when you're playing versus Tiny. If you just get one-shotted, then you can't turn and get your hunger off, so he's always going to be able to turn and get some type of lifesteal.
It's a nice little insurance policy there for him.
Nice interruption of the pull from Yamich.
We're looking over here in the mid lane. 37-4 on GPK and 27-6 currently on Rebel. Of course, you have to keep in mind there is some of those neutral creeps coming into play here. It's a good Earth Spike though in the top lane. Just going to push them back away from Cheshire Cat. He's trying to get a couple of these little nibbles down here over on Nightfall. The toss back though will force him away.
Oh, I thought that was actually going to proc the Cold Feet onto him. It was very close. They're actually glyphing the wave there, so he can't lifesteal off of it. Nice play. That was probably Kingslayer who popped that glyph there. It kind of, that's one of those where it's just like, I'm sorry, mid player. I'm taking your glyph, but it has a extreme purpose. Like now he can't actually walk up. He's just going to get comboed if he does. So securing Tiny several waves there just with the glyph play.
Oh, Inkspell should be able to connect with the double shackle though. They have the power shot. They needed just a little bit more damage. They have the battle. Yeah, there it is. Save, getting the first blood on Pantherman.
Already a sense of death.
As always, Save just connecting with some absolutely gorgeous shackles.
Must have been good at geometry in school.
It must have been.
And another shackle connecting. They've got the battle hunger. He's gonna try to dodge away here, and he's kiting successfully.
Okay, kills the courier, gets rid of the hunger as well too. Nicely done from Dyrachyo, even though he's under so much pressure down here, keeping his cool.
It's important. Top lane too, Cheshire has been able to do a lot here. Oh, nice spike here from Yamich. Tubble over on the side. Kingslayer is trying to run away. He's not going to be able to. So he will fall to the hungry spider.
Not so bad here for Winstrike so far. Mid lane also even. PA definitely under a lot of pressure though, as we've been seeing. They've had to spend a lot of regen down, a lot of money on regen. Does have the Ring of Health at the very least to counteract it a little bit here. Yes. It is a very threatening lane with these two. And now it's level 6 on the Axe too, with the Vanguard. So you can't actually push the Axe out of lane whatsoever unless you bring probably that Batrider down here, which might actually be the first rotation we do see from Rebel. Might want to see him actually make the move down as soon as he has Boots of Travel, just to alleviate some pressure from the...
That literally was going to be my next question, is he's got his level 6 online, and it feels like this lane has just been so difficult for Dyrachyo, so I would like to see, some sort of rotation, like you said.
Comes at a risk though, right? You're versus TA. TA immediately going to see you leave the lane, is going to start pressuring that tower. So it's got to be quick if Rebel does look to make the move. And you have a rune coming up in about 8 seconds. So if he gets a good one.
Oh, the shackle, Pantomim. As the Inkswell just will back off.
We'll be all right. And the rune, ooh, it spawns bottom. And it's a dream one for GPK. Illusion doesn't have a bottle, but would have been a good one if he did have it versus that bad. But doesn't need it since he can go stick. And he's going to go the Lance build. All right, cool. Not going to go for the Deso. Seeing this a little bit more in, at least in pumps in particular.
I know he was considering picking up the bottle early, but like you said, when you've got all that sticky spam coming out. Double bounty rune, easy peasy. Just walk into the jungle, start hitting these creeps. But we've got the spider army amassed here in the top lane. Cheshire Cat working on pushing it.
Rebels got the bots too, so that's that first move. I'd like to see it come down bottom just to help out Duracho a little bit.
He's just walking right back to the fountain right now. Top lane, toss back here. Get out of here, Cheshire Cat, says Nightfall. But Cheshire Cat still hanging out in the vicinity.
He's got the 6, so he's got the spider.
Oh, the call. Where is it? Does they don't quite have enough damage to get the dunk off, as they do have the rotation now with the Inkswell. They might be able to punish DM for this. Just ticking down, and all of this Fireflies trying to dance around. He cannot seem to do it. And Duracho, he dies to save us. Oh my goodness.
Oh, he actually gets taken out. So, I mean, the rotation's still good from Rebel, but Duracho does go down, so it will not be as effective. Cheshire Cat looking to get the spiders there for Nightfall. Won't be able to clean them up. And he is going to go more aggro build. He's going to go for the Orchid. I've been hoping to see more of this. I do like the Aura build, but that does mean you're not going to scale. As we heard from Ghostic in the interview too, especially when you go for that, it's all about timing. And I feel like when you're playing versus VP, timing plays, you have to be so perfect about it, and VP is a scary team, so we'll see if that one does end up working.
So what's the hope is that Cheshire Cat, you know, gets on the back lines and just eradicates the AA beforehand sort of deal?
Yeah, I mean, it just gives you a lot higher kill threshold versus like any hero in particular.
Right.
DM.
Oh, DM.
Rebel still has lasso.
He does indeed. They're just gonna go for a dive here. Stacks a sticky coming up, gets the call right into two of them. The rest of the team though, they're here. Can they do it? Can they turn it back around? Good Earthspike from Yamish buys a little bit more time, but the loser Rebel and Cheshire Cat is limping away. Oh, he just barely makes it up, but over on the back line. They go and they clean up Yamish.
The last tower hit actually follows Cheshire Cat and takes him out. And another, I mean, save these shackles. It sets up Nightfall to get the perfect combo on top two. Wind Ranger, level 7, already has a javelin. So now he's kind of like this solo Wind Ranger. He can gank the PA by himself now as this Wind. He's higher level than the PA.
That feels very bad.
That's just insane, really, from Save.
Well, he's playing his lane very, very well. He and DM, you know, dynamic duo there.
Yep.
All right, Rabel.
Still has lasso.
There's gonna be the ice blast, though. Connecting another shackle. Beautiful. GPK gets another kill. And the pressure is on. We talked about VP. This is a team that plays fast.
And Duracho as well.
He is left behind. Okay, blinks out. Another 10. Does GPK go for a dive here? All right, no. Got the fraction. Oh, toss in with the tiny. The Hex does come out.
The side blades. Oh, Duracho.
Very, very close there.
God, he almost just dies to side blades. And high level Wind Ranger also is quite threatening. PA, this low level, they have Ice Blast, they have a tiny combo. PA is under constant threat here. Anytime they do get any spell connection onto her. DP playing fast, per usual.
It's interesting because it feels like the draft coming out from the side of Winstrike is very fast. Like they're trying to out-tempo VP, but that's such a huge gamble. This is a team that plays at Mach, you know, I don't know, 6 or whatever you want to call it at this point.
Yeah.
They don't give you that breathing room. You really need to just be on top of the lanes constantly and win them very hard if you're going to do this kind of strat. So it feels, you know, very ambitious, but perhaps too much so.
Gotta try something. They gotta have to try. At least they're trying to make the moves is the important thing. I'm glad they're not like sitting back and farming, but I mean, Save has been there to counteract every single one of the ganks, and now there's a Blink Tiny. So these, you know, the speed is just gonna keep continuing. And Duracho, he is so weak. Like they're gonna see him, they're gonna go immediately onto him.
And look at this, the shackle, the ice blast, and he's just gonna fall to the supports all by themselves. Top lane though, DM possibly in a awkward position here, getting a couple nice spins, but is taking a bath at all this Firefly. So they should be able to get themselves this kill at the very least for the side of Winstrike, but losing the PA. Oof.
It's painful. And he already picked up the Blink Dagger on the X too, so they get the kill, but yeah, they've already got every initiating tool. Blink, Tiny, Blink, TA, Blink, Axe. Everything there for VP to make these aggressive moves. For Winstrike, it's going to be a lot harder how they do approach this. This TA is massive right now, and they can just set up for the next tower. So all 3 tier 1s quickly pressured from VP.
Nightfall is so scary here.
And they just find another one. When you do get ahead like this as TA, it becomes very quickly scary too, because there's traps all over the place, constantly watching the movements out. Are they level 12? Doesn't have the level 2 traps just yet. We can't place as many, but we will see that very soon. That VP, 3k gold lead. PA completely shut down.
And the choke begins, honestly. Just in terms of, you know, choking out the map for the resources. It's going to be hard. This PA is falling behind. No matter where you go, there is someone with a blink who is going to be on you and immediately, you know, going in for initiations or the burst damage or just save out of nowhere with a shackle shot. It's so hard for Winstrike, and they're trying to play up here, but if you notice, they have the vision coming out here from the side of VP because they know they're taking over the area and they're desperate.
Yeah, and Dyrachyo doesn't really have a place to farm. His jungle is completely overtaken from the side of VP. He can't farm Ancients yet. Nice silence to stop that ice blast.
There's something going on in the back end. I can't see. Okay, there it is. The Hex, yeah, they'll get the pick off on DM.
They keep getting DM. Does feel like they just constantly are grabbing onto this Axe. Does mean Save is probably going to get a bit more farm out of it on the map.
All part of the plan.
Might just be.
We call that yapstering a lane, usually.
That's very true.
But no, VP, they've lost the Axe. He's going to be back up very soon. We get a couple just tips flying out as well.
They're having fun. You can tell it's always VP when they are having this type of style, and I know GPK absolutely loves that. I'm so strong, guys. I'm so strong. The Fnatic line. He spams it all the times in pubs as well. And as we said, he takes over the whole enemy jungle, not playing on his side so that he can deny the farm, the safe farm away from PA. And as we mentioned, PA, you cannot farm the triangle as effectively just yet. No Battle Fury even close yet, really.
You say safe farm, but is it really safe farm with the way that VP has just been moving around the map?
It's the only little bit that he can find right now, since the Brood occupies this top. And
oh gosh, the call, the shackle, the ice blast, and the crumble. Kingslayer does have to be careful because these spiders are very hungry. They don't have a mom to take care of them anymore, but the rest of VP will protect him. 44 spiders.
Yeah, Spidey's already going down.
Bounty.
That safe lane Tiny, as we've seen, very effective. Same thing for Axe. Multiple different forms to be able to deal with that Brood. Great ways to get vision as well on these like pesky angles around tree lines, vortex, power shot, even those traps as we mentioned from earlier. So VP, they've covered their bases versus that early pick Brood that we did see come out.
Phantom trying to just push out the lanes a little bit. Does have the rest of the team behind him. They're trying to set up a trap, perhaps. Safe, feeling himself. DM, though, going in for the call. Blast away. Shackle latching yet again. Safe does have to be careful. Cheshire Cat also very fast. Nightfall, though, the follow-up. They've got the side. The Ice coming in hot, though. They get the lasso, the drag back, and they break that soulbind, but they get who they came for here. They got Nightfall. Rebel is just going to try to teleport on home.
He'll live.
DM has to be careful here. There's still plenty of people in the nearby vicinity.
They make some good moves on Winstrike, but now they're starting to get surrounded.
This feels scary here. Broodmother does not have a TP either.
Scouted as well. Trap as well. Top.
Match. Got the Inkspell pounce him. He's trying to buy a little bit more time as GPK jumping onto the back lines. Immediately, DM trying to find this angle. They drop the trap. They've got the vision. GPK gets himself the kill, and Cheshire Cat's just spinning around in circles saying, please, God, don't look over here.
At least the Brood gets away, though. They only get that Grimstroke. It's bought time for this PA to actually get the Battle Fury, so that Ancient stack that has been there for some time will finally be able to get farmed. Dyrachyo getting some nice space at the very least from all this.
Look at them. They're hunting. They're looking.
As we said, they covered their bases versus that early
Wrong way with that scout shot save. Oh, they walk over the trap, though. They find themselves to be killed, but they do get the nice call, plus the ice blast coming in. Connects. Yamich and Cheshire Cat obliterated.
How many two-man shackles already have we seen?
Quite a few, and the calls too have been on point for these guys. Look at this. Nightfall just rolling on up, rolling on through. They do have the Inkswell, but Kingslayer's here.
They pushed him off the big creeps, though. The big Ancients are still left, all 3 of them.
DM, he wants to get the jump again. Not to be able to quite get that vision, though, that he's looking for.
Okay, we'll be able to claim one of the Black Dragons.
And get himself a nice little present out of it, too.
And Deso is done. I believe it's time for that Roche, where I don't think that Winstrike can fight by any means, especially without the lasso being up. Way too difficult for them to approach. The VP, they're going to get this free Roche. Level 15 on TA.
Kingslayer throwing out a nice blast here. Just a TP up, but doesn't connect on Cheshire Cat. He should be able to easily take this without any contestation.
What's our levels looking like, actually? Because GPK, he's going to be level 16 now at this point. Look at the next highest, 13. Pretty ridiculous.
And a double damage. Oh, baby.
Of course. And Cheshire, as we mentioned, there's so many different ways to scout him in tree lines. He has to be very careful how he does step up. Especially with the build he's gone for. He doesn't have these auras to protect himself or his team. So it's a full greedy kind of build for Winstrike. Everyone playing for themselves. It does hurt Dyrachyo a lot.
And Dyrachyo at least does have the Battle Fury online, but he's still, it's going to take a while for him to get anywhere near the level that he can. Look at
They're hunting.
Look at this. They hunt him immediately. Shackle, that one not going to connect, but I think that's fine. Ice Blast comes in. It's not even necessary. Save with the power shot. As GPK double damage, just cleaning up the babies.
They're so split up still on the side of VP, and Winstrike's not able to punish it.
Oh, the call off over onto Rabel. They have so much damage here. A little bit early on that dunk, but GPK will secure the kill. You got to get out of there, man.
Attack range aplenty here for GPK. Grove Bow, Dragon Lance, and the talent. Beautiful. Hit everybody from a distance. Also takes the evasion talent. Most TAs we are seeing getting the Psionic Trap, but since he's versus PA, he's gone for there's a Broodmother who's gone for a physical damage build. Absolutely makes sense for GPK this game to go for this evasion.
He just wants all these fighters.
He's the carry. They have a safe lane Tiny, so he wants to be able to go for this carry build for himself.
I think he definitely can. I think he can do pretty much whatever he wants in this game so far.
He's level 18. Remember a minute ago or so when we said he was 16? He's just skyrocketing forward.
I do like the way he's just parked himself up here in this lane to kind of deal with some of these spiders, try to alleviate the pressure, and just casually farm up because they have full control of this triangle.
Winstrike just... They're getting stuck in their base already. Look at this. They have 3 heroes in the base. The Dyrachyo is trying desperately to find anywhere to farm, but he's constantly under pressure. VP's covering every lane.
DM, he's on the prowl. Saw that dagger.
Like, even Save is already setting up for bottom.
Dyrachyo walks right into DM. Okay, blinks away. Ice will connect over on Save, though. Rifle trying to get out the last hit, though. Clean up. I think that hit Yamato's way over there, too. Look at these side blades. What is this nonsense? Dyrachyo. Oh, my goodness. He blinks to DM. DM says, it's great to see you again, buddy. Doesn't quite get the dunk, but Nightfall's just rolling on into the base. Got Battle Hunger. Looks like they'll behave. They'll back off. They'll respect it, but they're not going to go for a full-on dive just yet.
This is what I mean. This new TA, like this talent is just enabling the hero so much. Level 19, 20 minutes. The range that he can actually connect with these blades is ridiculous. He almost actually got that Grimstroke in the base with that last one on the range creep. And the next pickup. He's got BKB, so he's covered defensively. This shard is one of the more powerful ones. He's going to get it very early on at 20 minutes. The silence it can provide 3.5 seconds, and you get more traps. So it's beautiful. And for map control and playing versus Brood, the vision it provides inside tree lines is phenomenal.
How do you kill GPK? He has not died at all.
They have to use everything. They haven't even gotten a chance to use Finger on the side of Winstrike. The speed that VP's playing at right now, it's too much. Winstrike doesn't know what to do. It's all 3 lanes. Look at the ward coverage from VP too. They just got full info sweeping from lane to lane every single time they do see poor Dyrachyo trying to find some space. They know it's all about the PA. The only way that Winstrike has any hope is if PA gets farmed, and she can't find anything.
They're effectively just starving them out here.
Yeah. Through pure aggression. I mean, this is the levels that are coming. This is insane from GPK.
Acts like this very much.
They got the blink. So let's see if we can see a successful Finger. Is able going to be able to get anybody. But there's still like the Aegis, so it's tough. They still can't go for GPK.
Look at this DM, because they know they have not been able to find anyone over in the Radiant Woods. DM. Silence, Hex. Okay, they might be able to blow him up, but immediately here comes GPK. Axe eventually falling. And they do manage to go and try to put some damage over here onto GPK. He is silenced up. They're holding onto the BKB already being popped, though. So that is going to be the Aegis. They end up losing Cheshire Cat on the back line. Phantom here. He drops that ultimate because he's trying to do anything that they can. Get up those spells before he dies. Spider Baby's just cleaned up. And Yamage here. Oh, dear. You are not making it out of here. Nightfall gets himself a triple kill.
DM's just a sacrifice. He does not care about his life. He walks in, he's like, please use spells on me. They do. They reveal their positioning. They run in. GPK, he holds the BKB so patiently. Doesn't even use it at all inside the fight. Rebel, he tried to hold his lasso. That's the important thing. He's like waiting. He's like, all right, we're going to kill TA, and then I'm going to lasso him on the respawn.
Second one, yeah.
But he can't because there's just too much of VP, too much power already coming in. VP's just masterclassing this one, sacrificing their axe to successfully set themselves up for just a dominating game. BKB finished up on Tiny as well. And will also be going for that shard to make himself a physical damage carry on top.
God, look at Diracha. He's so scared this whole game. He cannot go anywhere without there just being a DM or somebody.
Yeah. Look, DM, he's baiting them. He literally is just
hey,
like,
guys,
please use your spells on me. And they have to commit the finger to kill him at like almost everything. Double BKB, as you mentioned as well, to go for him. And they can barely bring down GPK the once.
Look at poor Pantomime on the back line. He's like, I gotta get some spells off. I gotta do something.
Yeah. And that's like the only information they had on the map too. The only ward that they could get out, and the only place they could play is the most unsafe place, which is that enemy jungle, because it just comes here like every single time. VP owns their side of the map. Level 21 TA, 24 minutes. it's pretty ridiculous.
It's very, very difficult for Winstrike here. They're trying, but there is no breathing room.
Now he's got Meld Dispel as well versus the Bat Rider versus...
All right.
All these things is going to be very effective.
You can't approach this tower. Look at this. You can see that Winstrike, they're just trying to get back into the woods over here, just trying to farm the dire jungle. They know that they're not going to run into VP here at this time. VP at any moment, of course, could just turn around and decide, yeah, let's go hunting.
Yep, they can just turn for the fight at any moment. PA can't show up the fights. Diracho just can't find anything on the map. Level 14. Safe lane Tiny 18. As we said, TA 21/22 soon. This is too fast. The plays from VP, it's just bloodthirsty. They're constantly waiting together looking for somebody.
They got Cheshire Cat's courier. His shard was on that.
He's under attack.
That hurts a lot.
It does. And a hidden thing that Cap did tell us is that shard also reduces cooldown on webs by 15 seconds. Does not say it on the tooltip,
anywhere,
but it does do that.
Yeah, I think he was watching, was it the Chinese region when they were playing it and he realized it?
Yeah. It moves it from 40 to 25 second replenish time on those webs, which is very important for broodmothers. So it's very surprising it doesn't show that on the shard.
Is that intended, or do you think something went wrong with the code?
I mean, it's intended, I'd imagine.
Feature.
Doesn't say it, so.
Bonus feature. For those brave enough to play Broodmother.
Yeah.
A little treat for you.
Yeah. 14,000 gold lead. Just no ways for Winstrike to really get out on the map at all. These traps, there's that plethora of items on GPK. Bat Rider can't find any opportunity for lassos at all.
Look at the vision. Look at all of these traps. Oh my god.
That's the power of the shard on top of just having such an early level 18/etc. So yeah, they can't get out. Look where Diracho's farming. He's the one getting something. Cheshire Cat has to just play tree lines, but the rest of the team stuck in the base.
There's a double damage down there.
Don't mind if I do.
DPK.
Yep.
Double damage.
Getting very close to finishing up that data list too.
Casual.
Damage is going to be insane.
Casual 500 plus damage right now at that DD when refractions pop. Roche back
Roche is up, yes.
Yep. It's time.
Time to go back in that pit, and I don't think they can do anything about this on the side of Winstrike.
Dire's bottom tower won't
If VP even
last
wants to go for it, VP might just be like, let's just slaughter them. You know, they just showed
They have a double damage on GPK. They can do whatever they like, honestly.
Absolutely.
Plus the BKB, everything here. It's a scary season here. Winstrike.
And it's a jam as well on the axe, so the limited vision that we do see out on the map from Winstrike, it's gonna get taken out if VP even ever swings back over there. And this Roche will die in a matter of seconds.
Cheshire Cat sitting up over on this eye spot, but send some babies.
Sacrifices.
A couple of his children. The smoke play. They're gonna try to challenge this. They can't get over there fast enough.
No way.
Hooters looking around here in the pit. Look at this. Okay, we do get the call from DM just cleaning up the babies, destroying the army.
How dare you touch my AA? As that is some of the fastest item timings I've ever seen on a TA.
Sure.
It's 20,000 net worth in 27 minutes. That is...
All right. They've got the jump, but they've got the BKB here. All right, finger does go off. They'll be able to take down Kingslayer, but Rebel, oh, he gets dunked. It's not going to be allowed to be a part of this fight. Yavich will pay for that finger. So he will fall next. Pantomime here should be able... No, they have the toss. And there's a Tiny. He's silenced. He does not care about your silence as they follow up with the call, the shackle, the damage, and down goes Daracho.
I believe it is time to call it. It is impossible. Chestercat just has to watch from the trees the entire fight. Cannot even get involved as this broodmother. Look at Chestercat. He just can't do anything.
If he wants to, feels like panicked, like mom, like, oh, what do I do?
Yeah.
Just can't.
That's why we do see the aura built. Auras a lot of the time, because in these some of these games it just gets out of control where you're just gonna walk in and die as VP. Continue to do what they do best and just dominate this region.
Game's not over yet, but it certainly feels very difficult for Winstrike. Tower going down.
They can't do anything to TA. He could one-shot most of these heroes with the crit.
Oh, for sure. For sure. They do have a tier 2 up in the top lane. So it looks like VP, you know, they want all the towers. VPK is just going to clean up these creeps.
I'm very surprised Winstrike's sticking in this one, I gotta be honest. This PA, there's no space for her to farm, even to catch back up, but there's just nothing they can really do on this.
Oh, look at this Wind Ranger.
Something.
Yeah, he finds him. And the itsy bitsy spider will fall here.
I don't know, this Fnatic line is, I love it. Like, I'm so strong, guys, I'm so strong. It cracks me up. So GPK loves it, and yeah, VP, another incredible performance from them, just giving no hope really to Winstrike. When they tried to make the moves on the map early, they did try to make these early aggressive moves, but every time, like, save was just there. Really in the beginning of the game, it's been this Wind Ranger just always reading the movements before they happen.
Daracho has to be so careful here. He's very far forward here with Pantomime. They're just lined up like a little ducklings. If Nightfall decide to do an Avatos, if they had any sort of inkling that they're over there.
They're gonna try for one more fight.
Smoke will be, oh, the power shot. They see them, the avalanche, the hex, but DPK immediately blows up Yavich. BKB is the last of breath, though, as they try to pull them out. Can they do it? The cheese gets munched up, and they'll take down Daracho. They will fall. Pantomime trying to teleport out here. He's not going to be allowed to leave unless it's in a body bag. And the G's get dropped.
They got the double lasso, but it's irrecoverable at this point. VP stomping, really just beautiful plays all around. Save with some unbelievable shackles early on. And the movements, I love how they can sacrifice somebody too. They recognize, they're like, you know what, DM, you're gonna just have to tank some of these ganks for us just because we need to get information just so we can crush the fight. And that's exactly what he did. It was, yeah, perfect performance from VP.
I mean, that is definitely the power of, you know, having that synergy with your squad and having faith in one another. The fact that, you know, DM dies, he's like, that's
Dyer's turn to pick.
Oda. Or have a rough laning phase and how they would be able to bounce back from that. A lot of interesting philosophies coming out of this VP team.
I will say, I think this is potentially their final game in the DPC. They win this series, they go 7-0. So I know that they've done that before during the league, but I'd hope for the final game, they would just put on a kind of a show of, this is our final performance before we turn up at the major, and this is what we're going to try and bring. So I hope they aren't trying to add some training wheels and all this kind of extra gimmicks. I hope this is a clean game where they can just present what they've kind of learned over the league.
Amen.
Yeah, man, Charlie did.
Dyer's back.
I said way too much last series, so I'm trying to like tone it down just a
Very well.
bit. And we got ourselves some exciting Dota, my friends. Medusa, my favorite hero to panel and
Why is it your favorite, Brian? Tell
my
me more.
favorite part about Medusa is how quickly she hit creeps and how much her team just huddles as 5 and watches her do it, baby. It is good stuff.
But Brian, tell me more. What about the items?
All the items, baby. You get the manta. Allows you to hit a bit more creeps because you hit a little bit faster. You summon those illusions just in case you get rooted or silenced or something. And then you go for that Ag Scepter, which gives you that 1.5 second plus 0.2 second per bounce stun on your Mystic Snake. And then you get the Shard Cap if you don't already have it.
But hold on, Brian. That's test cap.
Test.
What does the Shard do, Cap?
What's the Shard do, Cap?
The shard allows you to be able to bounce back as Snake, a single target Snake. It does
Single
not
target
bounce
Snake.
on anybody else when you are hit by a single target spell.
I know.
What's the range on it?
Exactly. I was going to ask you that, Brian. No, Brian, that's for you.
The range is global.
My man!
Yeah.
There we go. We
He
got
knows this because he's a Spirit Breaker spammer, and he's.
I want to see. Oh yeah, Spirit Breaker spammer.
Yeah, dude,
That's pretty funny.
charge
I
it
want to
with
see
that.
assassination.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the Snake just comes flying back at
Do
him.
you know what the cooldown is on it, Cap?
There is no cooldown.
12 seconds.
Oh.
On
Wow, 12
the
seconds? Is it really that long?
cold-blooded passive, yeah, it's 12 seconds.
Huh,
It's basically a Lincoln's that instead of blocking the spell, just says.
Yeah.
Shoots the,
No,
shoots
I
the
like that,
slippery
yeah.
snake back at you.
So is it a play when you've got a bunch of single target for somebody? What are your supports? Just tank the Snake.
Yeah, well, Baron tanked
Imagine
it globally.
coordinating that though, you know, just like that sucks.
I mean, something as simple as like, I want to be able to, as Robson say, a Bat Rider, right?
Yeah.
I want to be able to lasso that guy. Well, like, you lasso him, you get snaked. You're like really killing yourself there.
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
kind of need somebody to jump on that.
We did
bullet.
see that happen with the Doom. The Doom did doom the Medusa and then get reflected on him with the Snake, which is pretty obnoxious, but I think the best way to deal with Medusa is to have multiple threats around the map and then be able to kill everyone else on her team and disengage when she pops her ultimate and then just run back in. You know, just quick hit and run.
Which is what makes the egg so good, right? Before it was like this hero was very one-dimensional, and the fact that you just could like farms up, but all of a sudden now Medusa has like some legitimate team fight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
control.
It's kind of weird.
Actual control in the team.
Control.
Fight.
Okay.
Yes, I would call it control.
The key thing is, well, Medusa needs heroes around her to enable her in the fight. So that's why I say VP. They now pick the Centaur because when Medusa's up front, if you can just run around her and kill the backlines, it is going to be a bit destructive. I look forward to seeing potentially a line with the Shard, giving mana maybe to that Medusa eventually as well, enabling that tankiness. And now they pick up another hero that doesn't care about getting jumped. You can quickly get your split off after, and it's just enabling the Winstrike lineup.
When they nerf Medusa, because they will,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they'll target the mana from the Snake, which is also mana you gain from the cold-blooded passive. So you pretty much always get mana. You're always full mana as long as you have that cooldown get itself procced again. As
That was the broken talent before too.
Yeah, but
when
you
they
didn't
used to
use the-
steal mana, that was also the broken
but
talent.
now that Ags plus Ag Shard is like a legit build, the talent's too good. And Brewmaster typically has been countered by Centaur in the past because the whole idea of Centaur is to pick and choose your fights carefully. Brewmaster pushes that old button, you go, see ya nerds, and you run away.
The key thing though is when VP pick up a Tiny, just like how Nigma picked up Tiny, it is just their mid lane, right? So it's a more active skirmishing type. So if you jump in, don't get the kill, and then the Brew's turning that fight, you're lifting up that win condition because, of course, VP, it's a 4-protect-1 right now. They have got a windrunner that can kind of become a semi-core. But in terms of the big team fight, if you're able to lift up that single target, it also removes illusion heroes, for example, as well. You kind of disrupts that a little bit. So I can see the value of the Brew pick, and they now have just strong lanes in regards to potentially this. Lina could be the 5 or the 4 here, or even mid.
Did you say that when they pick Tiny, it's a mid Tiny?
Yeah.
It was literally a carry Tiny last game.
Well, I meant the idea of core Tiny, sorry.
Okay, so you're saying you know what you're dealing with.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I was about to say,
thank you for. I meant core. I meant
the last 3 Tinies from VP have actually all been carries.
Yeah,
which is just a bait and switch. And the thing is, since they have absolute last pick, I'd say it is quite possible for them to rotate this Tiny to mid. If
I don't want to see a Tiny. Okay, that was maybe not yes idea here. I don't want to see a Tiny carry here because of the Medusa. Think of the last game, they banned Wraith King, Lifestealer, and Medusa when they knew they were going for a Tiny carry. So that's why I'm kind of leaning more on the mid.
You know, a hero looks super swag against this Winstrike lineup. Sniper, baby. How is this not the best sniper game that we've seen in all of DPC so far?
They have last pick, Brian, so if you could hold 1 second, Winstrike picks another hero, I can confirm or deny.
Okay, no gap closed so far on the side of Winstrike. You have a bunch of guys that go in, and you also have the Centaur ulti to help protect the sniper. Hear me out, and it's a good matchup against Medusa. Hear me out, guys. Here we go.
We're listening, Brian. We're listening.
We're ready. They even banned the Bloodseeker to prevent him from running away on the sniper.
What are you saying, Cap?
Is OD a mega garbage hero?
I wouldn't say Omega garbage, but it's hyper situational.
Okay.
It's really bad against like 1 or 2 stuns. That would be instantly cast on you if you save yourself or save somebody else or you use it aggressively. Astral's just a really hard spell to make work right now. I'm almost surprised the Ags build hasn't been tried a bit. Maybe the Meteor Hammer is just too good, but the Ags does make it so your Astral hits AoE and you get 2 charges. So I'm kind of surprised it hasn't been tried, but yeah, I think against Medusa, it's also pretty underwhelming because you give her a bajillion mana when you Astral her, right?
Yeah.
Radiant's turn to pick.
Ignore her and then stun yourself.
Yeah, they go for a Legion. So they now pretty much completely remove any chance of like illusion heroes coming into play here.
The literal best sniper game in the history of DPC.
Just to be clear, what are the cores on Winstrike?
It most likely will be Legion offlane paired with a Lion, with a Brew 5 enabling the Medusa, and a Lina being the mid lane, most likely.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I just wanted to be clear.
Looks like what it's going for. Yep.
Wraith King, I've been hyping him up all day. I think it's a really good hero. I think it's a pretty solid pick. I actually like Winstrike's draft a lot better this time around than the previous game, but VP is clinical. Even if they get off to a little bit of a rough start, I think they're going to be VP.
Yeah, the
and
key
we're
thing...
not going to a game 3.
Okay.
I had to rhyme there, sorry.
No, that's fine. Yeah, that was nice. For Winstrike, they have good lanes in regards to farming, but they're not pressuring. A Legion won't die, but a Lina will pressure. Medusa won't die, the Brew could, you know? So they're going to be playing for a very slow farm game in laning phase, and that's where VP can utilize, punish that. A bit more pressure, collapse them out quicker. There's a lack of damage for Winstrike in the first like 20 minutes. They are locked into items and not levels to get themselves into the game. And when there's no jungle to farm, because you've lost early towers to quick VP rotations, it can be difficult. So Winstrike needs to adjust from game 1 to be able to deal with that pace.
Who can step up on Winstrike to win this game?
Yeah, Brian. Who do you think should step up?
I'd say it's all about this Legion Commander.
Legion Commander.
Because if she does not have an insanely good start to the lane, she will become a 3rd support, and I don't think Medusa will be enough to solo carry this game.
So like every Legion Commander game.
Yeah, Legion's pretty hit or miss.
I'm saying you can't afford to have that this game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They're going to need, seriously, everybody on Winstrike to be able to step up their game to bring down the big dogs of Virtus Pro. Is VP going to go completely uncontested in a 2nd season? The Eastern European DPC and crown themselves a champion. What to see with Moxie and Fog.
All right, we have game number 2, and we have a slightly different approach to the draft this time, coming out from Winstrike. Do we like this, Fog? Is this going to be enough?
It's very passive. It concerns me, especially with how VP plays, just super aggressive, right? And this just feels like it's an all-in Medusa. We've got the Legion Commander buff up. We've got even eventual, like this Brewmaster just being able to just full-out support the Medusa, just be that blanket to give her the help. But yeah, I think this is just going to be another really tough one for them. VP, they're not messing around today at all. I thought maybe we'd see some of these, you know, trying stuff out. No. Not today. They start out with the Tiny every single time first pick. They're picking Save as Wind Ranger. it's a very clean, straightforward draft for them.
That is actually so triggering, the Wind Ranger laugh. Oh my god. If only it was all chat,
It's only
right?
to allies. I was about to
If
say.
only it was all chat. You could definitely tilt some people, you know, gain that advantage there, because, you know, the psychological warfare is a true thing here.
I mean, these guys they're gonna have so much fun. Honestly, you can tell the way the way VP's just the way they played that first game was no messing around. It was just ruthless, especially versus a team like Winstrike. They're just running around as a train, spamming RTZs, getting a good angle on it there for GPK.
My favorite are the cursed RTZs, the ones where you put him on multiple levels of terrain and he comes out all funny. It also works very nicely with the Sunscan one too.
So no aggressive play there, no real aggressive smoke besides just checking out top, getting themselves a river ward there, standing outside the Roche.
Possibly to check any sort of rotations that might come in, but I don't really feel like we're gonna see any crazy moves, honestly.
No, maybe just to see when if they do look to secure ruins early, they're going to be looking to secure bottom more so on VP. It's usually what that type of does tell out here. Yeah, we'll see how these lanes do end up being. Mid, we saw the Batrider unable to take advantage versus the Templar Assassin in that last game. So let's see if Rebel's going to be able to do better this time on the Lina and actually put any pressure onto GPK.
I mean, it's one of those situations where it feels like it should be pretty good in lane, considering the fact that you are ranged. You can try to go for your cheeky LSA or something like that, although no points picked up in that at all if you're going for the last hits. But then the tables turn, right? Once you get the more levels online for Tiny, you are so susceptible to being burst down, which is very, very scary.
Most definitely. A lot of them are quite burstable here for sure on the side of Winstrike. And yeah, I mean, Tiny should be able to he should be able to hold his own, because I mean, it is GPK, number one, of course, but also he's like we've seen these Tinys like every single time they come out even. The way that this bottle just works with the constant rune control, doesn't matter if you're in a very aggressive harass lane. So yeah, I think it's super important, do or die here for this Legion commander to have a good game. It doesn't feel like he can do too much pressure actually onto a Wraith King with the Snapfire behind. Sure, they have the line, which is a very good right clicker with a Legion. Yeah, it does feel like it could be still difficult, as Wraith King is amazing. In lane, it seems like no matter what he's up against, even if he's against counters, and he's got Snapfire. This is like the strongest duo. They've hit level 2, so they want to get aggressive immediately. Yamich, if he steps up too far, he can just die.
Shredder already getting applied a couple times here.
Yep.
The pressure is starting to heat up in the bottom line.
And they did already, you see that point in the overwhelming odds. If you want to try to secure range creep here as this Legion, that means you don't have a Dispel. So versus that little Shredder, that minus armor is going to stick on you as GPK. Go for the form.
Otherwise, fairly quiet here. That little bit of that level 2 going on safe, just being as annoying as possible, just poking away over on Pantomime. They keep running into each other, pulling off to the side. It's just letting DM do whatever he wants in this lane.
Yeah, they can't get aggressive up here. This is just like your ghetto clockwork is what I like to call it. The Brewmaster with your Medusa. It's a similar kind of concept where you tank the brunt of the forest. You're just trying to get some harassment, secure range creeps for your Medusa.
Oh my word. Latch Shackle over here on Pantomime, and he just gets clicked down. Does have a couple tangos, does have a couple stick charges, but definitely feels bad.
He's just got to secure the farm. Medusa's got 14. Not too shabby, but yeah, DM is still getting away with everything. But his regen is also limited up here, DM. Might have to be a bit careful how far he does step up. He does get clapped there. There might be a chance for them to actually go for him.
I mean, you've got Save, though, nearby, who can just literally save if necessary. Throw out that Shackle. He's been very on point. I don't think I've seen him really whiff any.
Ooh, they just lost a lot of melee creeps and a range creep there on the side of Winstrike. Kingslayer does get the pull off.
Fortification.
See a glyph coming out. I think that was probably for the mid lane, it looks like here. Couldn't actually see for a second. His top.
Another Shackle. Drop the Cinder Brew. Clap. But it's rough here for Pantomime, right?
It is.
He just went and salved up again.
Yeah,
He's got to run out of regen.
Yeah, so much regen.
That's not cheap, my friends.
No, Racho doesn't really have much at all on him either. So yeah, DM now will be able to get that full free farm, get that Vanguard at a very good timing. Bring health already online.
Dire fortified their structures.
Look at the side pull, range creep, at least for the side of Winstrike. said, you have to be very aggressive and be careful how far you step up.
Far forward here, Cheshire Cat. I'm not sure they have quite enough damage. The Hex, though, Cheshire Cat's pretty fast. Gonna be all right, but again, you can see that very potent combo in the bottom lane. Feels like both of these lanes, honestly, for the side of VP, they're very, very strong. It's very hard for them to approach.
Yeah, it is. Can't connect the snakes onto the Wind Ranger either, the way that Save is playing on the side here. It's only hitting DM, and Centaur is one of the lower intelligence heroes overall, so that mana gain that you do get from the snake back is not as valuable as much. And he is hitting him too, with mana shield on actually a couple times, so he's burning his own mana a few of these hits. Just have to be careful too. Now that there's a level 4 available, DM is holding a skill point for if he does look to have a double edge, which he most likely will.
DPK in the mid lane. Wasn't gonna go for the toss or anything, but like I said, yeah, goes for that ranged.
Rebel's doing a good job though, is coming out ahead in the lane a little tiny bit here.
I see what you did there. DM just feeling very powerful. Save, looking to put out a little damage.
At least the snake bounces to save there, so for Duracho, it does get a little bit more mana.
Yeah, the constant plinks though. Constant poking and prodding here on the top lane.
Look at this. I mean, Duracho's just hurting himself. Stop hitting yourself, Duracho.
I just don't know what this. Okay, we seeing a rotation now.
Okay, we gotta bring the lead to level 6.
Here, it's Laguna off. All he needs to do is press R, and Save is just gonna win run out.
Nice move.
Very necessary, honestly. It doesn't feel like this brew can do a whole heck of a lot there in the top lane.
No, he had to use it. I mean, he blew through his entire regen in just 2 quick minutes. That's top. They
the double damage rune. Look at GPK. He wants Rebel here. Gets the vision. LSA coming out from Rebel. They get the avalanche. He's gonna go just land that shackle. The damage is here. The toss into the air. He's using the fairy fire. Gonna go for a bit of a dart. The tree though coming in hot. I'll take down Rebel.
That DD making all the difference. Tiny also having the grow skill, so all that increased base damage.
Yeah, but he whiffs it.
Totally off the mark.
Hex coming in. Look at the save. He's running on in here with this wind run.
Oh, the bounty.
Like they're just gonna snap up the bounty instead.
Stolen away. And they're not able to put pressure on the Wraith King at all now. With that movement away, the line's forced to leave that lane, which means Wraith King is gonna get absolute free farm. He's trying to slow down DM, but he's got the Vanguard.
Save is here. They can turn this around if they're like. Oh, maybe gonna disengage.
Yeah, I thought maybe they could have actually killed the Brewmaster.
Yeah. Tower's gone though.
Wow, that is
early tower.
That DD coming into play for not only a kill but also a first objective. That's incredibly early. Look at those.
Eight.
Look at those. Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
It was a fast timing. It was great.
It was very quick. It's
very good. Toss up into the air. That's a dead Brewmaster. Iracha says, I can't be here anymore. And look at this. All 4 heroes over on the side of VP making this rotation. They're going to put the pressure down. And this is the problem. Like, I feel like the problem is very difficult no matter what. Because in the first game, they tried to play faster. Yes. That didn't work out. This time, they think, okay, we've got Adusa. We can just sit her in a triangle. We'll try to make plays. But VP just doesn't allow that breathing room.
It's so quick the way that they make these moves, and they know, say if he doesn't, or Kingslayer doesn't have to be bottom anymore because that Wraith King can just resort to jungle. So they can pressure this down. Phantom, does that mean that they're gonna bring the Lina up here to try to save the tower?
They're bringing the Legion.
Okay.
All right. Immediate shackle over onto this Brewmaster. Cheshire Cat is just gonna try to push them away. DM though, cutting the wave already. There's a little bit of a scuffle over here. Don't manage to get that courier.
No. And DM with efficiency pulls it into the small camp. GPK also pulling these creeps as away too. Good rotation at least. The Legion. It's a rotation to have to defend the tower, but again, that just means that you're playing as what Brian was saying, where it does feel like at some point this Legion could just become that third support for Medusa, which is going to put them in a really tough position.
Oh, to be a Wraith King on VP and not have a care in the world.
I know, right?
To just hit the creeps and saunter to lane, perhaps dabble a bit.
He got to play Tiny last game, so he had to play a little bit more active. This time around, he's like, hey team, how's it going? Great, okay, back to jungle.
This is a problem. This is something that you don't want to have happen, because Nightfall is going to farm like a beast here.
It's just not easy for Winstrike to make these moves. Like, they have a very defensive draft coming out here with that Medusa. It's just tough for them to make moves, because they have to play about protecting Medusa. So if you do make a move away from the Medusa, you might get punished instantly from VP.
Exactly. the Stampede, the Shackle, and down will go the Lina.
Already invading the triangle too, so no stack's going to be available for this Medusa, and if they were, they'd probably get stolen as well from VP. It's just these constant aggression.
All right, they might be able to put a decent amount of damage down here on DM. Doesn't have any friends here, gets the stomp off. Does have to be careful. He is very, very slowed down. He goes, he pops the charges, because guess what? Kingslayer's here, and they don't want to have to deal with both of them. As yet another person comes up, save. Look at the way they just sweep. It's like they're doing like bomb scouting sort of thing. The way that they move, and they're just so precise.
They know who to play it around. Beauty of watching VP as a blink dagger done. 9 minutes 50 seconds. GPK. It's only 3-1, but they're gonna kick up the pace extremely fast here soon. As Blade Mail's picked up for Cheshire Cat, does give them a little bit more damage.
They could again save if he starts to try to focus fire him down, but
he won't make that mistake. He'll just stop attacking and move away.
exactly. I mean, you know, I'm trying to find some glimmers of hope here. It's rough for Winstrike. They're trying some different things, and you know, hats off to them. The fact that they're mixing up their strategies and trying to see if they can find any sort of holes in this armor. But
at least their audio is getting more far than the
Yamich.
TA last time.
Get out of there. Ooh, just barely manages to teleport away.
At the very least, right, Medusa this time around is getting a little bit more far, but Rebel is just constantly getting hunted here from GPK. Arcane Rune, he's got another stun in a second.
Pushes those phase boots he wants. The Stampede comes out. The Avalanche connects the toss into the air. And again, a dead Rebel. Top lane, though, they're going to try to put some harass over here to DM. And he is starting to sit a little bit low, but he is very, very tanky. And look at this. The cookie hop forward. They're going for the duel, but save immediately. With the kisses. It is beautiful. They don't manage to get the kill on Potham. He does have the split, but look, they still haven't taken down DM as these pandas are hunting on the back line. The stomp comes out. The rock will connect. And they do finally get the kill on DM. Pantomime, he's got to be careful.
Player's gonna go for him.
Kingslay's got the little shredders, trying to apply some of that negative armor. The shackle not quite connecting, but the cookie hop does, and the power shot snipes out here.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, Nightfall, doing whatever he wants to do. No pressure whatsoever. And Duraccio, his area is also warded. The triangle is warded out, so Medusa doesn't have safe places to farm at all. VP, it's just hunting.
Bye, Cheshire Cat. Bye-bye, Cheshire Cat.
Of course, a fairy trinket as well pointing out for GPK. Always seeming to get
Hi
that
there, Yamich, and Cookie a little bit too far forward here, but they are hunting, and the tree barely, 20-something hit points. GPK says, oh, my bad. I didn't realize I need to do another action here.
Is under attack.
Feels tough to be a support in this game.
Feels tough to be Winstrike.
Yes, that too.
GPK.
They're putting up a good fight, though.
Yeah, they're trying to at least counteract any of it. Like the Bruce split at least gets him that one kill on the DM, but it feels like DM is going to be one of the only ones that does die again in this game.
DM is just the damage soaker.
Yep.
As in most games, DM presents his face. Everybody uses their spells on him, and then the rest of the team just pops in the last, I don't know.
He's still got a blink already, too. He's got it so quick.
He's going to be able to follow up the toss right back. Alley-oop. That Blade Mail's cute, but it'll be Kingslayer gets it, and then Rebel. Oh, Rebel, he just can't seem to catch a break. This poor Lina. Will be able to walk away, but look, we've already got the Sacred Relic online now for Kingslayer.
Relic's done. Double blinks are at the ready. Winstrike, they got to look to make some more moves. So these Lion and Lina, they do have their level 6s. They have a haste rune also, of course, on Rebel. They got to go kill something. They have to just use their double ults onto one of these cores to catch back up. Like, hopefully for GPK. That's one of the bigger targets they can get. Kingslayer.
Kingslayer already just hightailing out because GPK jumps in the toss. It's just a dead Lina. And this is the I like the fact that they've got this burst damage on the side of Winstrike. You've got, you know, the Lion who's got Finger of Death. You got Lina who's got Laguna Blade. You've got these tools, but the problem is you need to be able to get pickoffs. And VP, aside from Nightfall, who has multiple lives, right? Mm-hmm. They're not going to ever allow that. They're always going, if they're going to be making any risky movements, it's always at least in pairs, if not more. And that's just, you can't make these plays, especially now as you start to pull behind.
And you will have to commit almost everything onto one of those two heroes that you do find anyway. The Tiny or the Centaur, they're incredibly tanky. You're probably gonna have to use both that Laguna and the Finger to be able to bring them down. Dyrachyo, it's getting some space, but it's under vision. So VP, very likely to make a movement over here and just try to shut them down as they do see all of this. So
They're
do
smoked
see
up.
VP smoked up. See a Diffusal Blade being picked up also on save. Not yet, but he is going down that route just to counteract Medusa with Focus Fire.
Good lord. DPK though. Oh, Rebel into the arms of the Angel.
Oh my god.
Or in this case, DPK.
Arcane Rune, full map control, so he's always getting every rune. As we mentioned, the Fairy Trinket for extra burst. Level 13 at 1430, just like the TA last time. And this ward is super deep. It is going to get spotted from Winstrike, but that does mean they're under vision. And they're also going to get the counter ward here on the side of VP themselves. So
Radiance completed now for the Wraith King.
VP's just too good. There's just no element of hope, no element of openness for this Lina to find any. Every time Rebel's like, all right, I'm on the hunt, I'm dead.
Radiant's bottom tower faces a
It's just so quick the way these moves are. They've gotten the Mantha on the Medusa. As we said, it's all about Medusa this game, but they are going to have 3 or 4 even glorified supports just sitting behind her. So it's all about Dyrachyo at this point, as he is having a way better game as the PA this time, but I think VP doesn't care. That's why they're hunting the Lina. They're hunting this Legion commander as Sunset even looking down on them.
Thanks, guys.
What is the voice line that he's got again?
I don't even know. Shannon has a couple.
I don't know. My favorite is the one, but I think there's one that's like, well, you guys tried or something like that, you know? I don't know what this Lina can do at this point. Died 5 times, hasn't been able to get off hardly any spells, and just every time that they show up on the map, they just immediately, and this is the problem, like you said, it just feels like they have a lot of supports now because they don't have the items, they don't have the levels, they can't even step outside the base without immediately having a GPK there.
I feel like they have to try to do some type of smoke movements, though. You're just letting VP really run at you, and you're splitting away from your Lina. You have to be able to support Rebel so he doesn't just get... So if they do commit, right? Like if they do just pop the Lina, you have to try to get something out of it at the very least. Have the Lion behind, have the Legion Commander behind, or even the Brew, like anything. Maybe even just group up as 4 around the Lina to look to make plays at the moment, because it is VP looking to make these moves in like 2 or 3 man groups. So if you do outnumber them, perhaps you can actually punch back. I mean, they're getting the farm on Dyrachyo, as we mentioned, actually top net worth, but he's not going to be able to carry the game by himself versus VP.
No, it's going to be everyone around him crumbles and falls, and then he is the last bastion that unfortunately does feel like VP will easily be able to cut down at this point.
And I think we're just going to have a highlight reel of poor Rebel just getting ganked over and over again from VP.
Death number 1.
Yeah.
Here we go. They even go for the Stampede. This is death number 3.
I see another one.
Okay.
Same place.
Number 5. We're skipping a couple here, you know?
Yep.
But again, every time he shows his face, hello.
Where's his backup?
DPK.
Right? But where's his backup? Where's the Lion? We need to see where they are to be at least in position to help out Rebel, because he's just running by himself. Like they need to be able to back him up until they can at least punish if VP does try to make these moves. Just bring the 5 heroes, bring the 4. Just have Dusa on one side and run as 4. Because they're just getting completely owned around the map here from VP while the Wraith King does get free farm.
I don't want to say it's tilt, but how much of it is just, you know, frustration?
Gets the bottle, gets the illusions. It's so many different things. It is VP, so it's just they're moving too quick for you to even be able to react. But they do need to, like, they have to do something on Winstrike. You can't just sit back and let this happen. As they're showing the Lion bottom. Oh, that he's got information to just make him move forever. They're trying to get the building dagger just like last time for damage, but it's gonna come too late. I feel like they did the same exact thing for this line in the last game. It didn't work. I want to see much more active damage. He's just waiting for somebody to show.
Is this VP's last game of this DPC? I'm trying to remember the schedule.
Yeah.
Pretty big deal.
Yep. I mean, they're dominating.
Yeah. They've proven why they're the kings of this region.
New neutral items, double fillies, fan brace as well for the side of VP. Full whip too. 5k gold lead. Slowed down a tiny bit here, as we are seeing Winstrike at least group up a little bit better here. You know, Pantomime's sitting behind Rebel, but
they are trying to move like you said, try to be a little bit tighter. It's just so frustrating, especially when you can't find a footing at all on the side of Winstrike. You're trying to make room for the Stusa, obviously very, very important, but at the same time, it feels like the rest of these heroes over on the side of Winstrike, they're too squishy. They don't have the capability unless one person's out of position over on the side of Vitus, but maybe then they can, you know, get a pick off. But VP, they just play so tight when they reach that certain item timing and they realize that they're in the driver's seat.
Yeah. Winstrike's just not even trying though here to look for the plays. Like, the Lina was trying. Rebel was the one looking for these plays. We did see the one Bruce split, but besides that, like, where's this Lion? Like, where are they to look for these plays? Like, he's got Blink, but
is it just playing too not greedily, but thinking too much about your own game? Like, how am I gonna be able to be effective in this instead of how are we going to be effective?
I think it's just this looming. It's just this threat. I think they're getting in their own heads for sure playing versus VP because they're not really doing much around the map, and now they're under this constant vision. And look at all these items being picked up. VP, they're the defusal for the position 4 Wind Ranger. Yeah,
that's an oof. All right. Positioning here coming out from VP. They're gonna just throw Nightfall up front and center. Has got that Radiance on the line, a big tanky lad.
Goes
even has a halberd. My God.
Yep. Way to counteract that Dusa entirely. And now Winstrike just has to ball together. They pretty much have 4 supports in a Dusa. So let's see if it does work out for them. I don't think it's going to, but there is some hope as he at least has the items finished up about to be on that Medusa. Aghanim's also about to be picked up for Duraccio. Yeah, VP's doing whatever they want.
I mean, how can they stand toe-to-toe with them at this point, especially when you consider how far behind they have slipped, you know? 5K net worth lead right now. When you look at their heroes, they haven't had any sort of escalation. Look at this Nightfall just being right front center. DM with the stomp. Throw out the Wraith Fire Blast. And look at the supports. They're dancing around. They're like, what do we do? What do we do? Oh my God, they tossed her back. All right, that's a nice stun, though, coming out from Yamich. We'll be able to connect on several. Disarm, though, there's no mana left here for this Dusa, as she is just shredded into pieces. They do get the split off. These Snapfire kisses raining Hellfire down. Pontaman's just trying to figure out what to do here. Starts poking away at Kingslayer.
Maybe they
you have DPK maybe a little bit too far. They've got the Laguna, they've got the finger. They're trying to get the victory. They do manage to slay GPK. The cookie, though, coming out here from Nightfall. Team, you are going a little bit far right now. They kill Rabel. They'll take down Pontaman.
Is it enough to even bring one down? All right, they'll get one with the glyph, but GPK's diving into the tier 3 at this point.
There's still a tier 2 up.
Yeah.
Team?
Another VP stomping.
This is...
And it's the way that they approach the fights too. Look, they commit onto Duraccio, and then they all just like go for it. They know exactly what the game plan is. They're like repositioning, get them away from their base to force them to try to help this Medusa so that we can get all these chain kills. That's just beautiful planning as always from VP.
God, yeah, and you can see T-Save with that defusal just helping to chip through that. Man, there wasn't much mana left anymore at that point anyways, but just all these pieces in VP's draft coming together very nicely. GPK gets a little too excited here. They do get some dual victory. I mean, that's something you gotta be very proud of. GPK hasn't died very often this season at all, so, you know, you at least got that underneath your belt.
Yeah, we see that glyph. Look at it go to work. Beautiful. Not much they can do at this point. Ag's online, though. As we said, all on Medusa.
You saw dying out of this.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
Did also find a Growth Bow. Didn't actually point that one out, so at least get some luck on his side.
For sure. Perhaps, you know, perhaps VP gets a little too overzealous. You know, we talked about the fact that GPK's just diving into the tier 3s over there. You know, they amass a decent amount of gold as this game goes on and they can find kills. I don't think he's going to... I mean, you never know, right?
Yeah, it's just been no funny business from VP today. Like, sometimes you're seeing a little bit of, like, craziness with them, like, diving in for it, even at the tier 3, but this is, like, appropriate. Like, this is just them asserting their dominance because they know there's no reaction. Like, Winstrike's just not doing much of anything, so they're just letting VP play the map however they really want to. DD outside Roche Pit. Solar Crest finished on our Snapfire, and Nightfall is pretty much approaching that BKB any moment now. So we'll be able to stick on his target very easily versus that Medusa. We'll be able to completely avoid the Brewmaster disables, the Lina, the Lion. We'll have no worries Is that the shard picked up now? So Medusa does have shard. So versus that single target, we'll have a little bit more survivability, but where's the damage going to be coming from here for Winstrike?
That is indeed the big question, because this Lina just immediately gets taken out of the equation. She's working on her own BKB, but there's a lot of damage coming out just in the physical side of things. And then Cheshire Cat just hasn't been able to do anything this game. You know, he got that one duel victory, but that is, of course, you know, the cat falling asleep with his paw open and the mouse just walking on in.
Tends to happen a lot of times with Legion. It's a tough hero to make work, honestly, when you are playing like these 4 protect ones. As Brian mentioned, you know, either you have this like explosive game or you just literally become a support. So he has the shard finished up, so that's that big buff up, so they at least have like spell immunity during that press the attack for the Medusa. But it's a lot of situations where heroes might just get jumped and not be able to get even saved.
And there's just so much physical damage too,
There
though.
is.
Like even, like we said, over on the Wind Ranger, position 4. You've got the damage. All right, BKB timing. Online now for Mr. Nightfall. Daracho trying to just clean up some of these camps. Skelly Boy's being summoned.
Nightfall also level
Daracho
18.
just shows himself. That's... Oh, the shackle from Save.
Cookie.
The follow-up. They're just going to take away some of that armor. DPC jumping in onto the back lines here. Daracho, okay, yes, they'll go. They'll get the split off as everyone's just running away here on the side of VP because they want to go back. And Yamich does fall. It's going to fight back. Nightfall with the BKB, though. The disarm. There it is. There's the Stone Gaze. It's going to buy them just a little bit more time. They've got the Blade Mail over here coming out from Cheshire Cat. I'm not sure what he's trying to do, though, because he's just going to be held into place and wait for that power shot's coming from Save to kill him. As Daracho, the toss, but the Earthman will fall. The finger comes out. It doesn't seem to matter too much. Ian does fall, but they eventually take down Daracho. And now it is just the Lina and Lion still alive.
And they pop the BKBs and they're way too tanky. The 2 cores, the Tiny and that Wraith King, they have too much armor. This Medusa hits them for actual 0. Even when they're stoned, with that increased physical damage that comes out during that, they still take nothing. They get the finger kill at least on DM, but that, as we said, that's been his job. He just takes a couple of the spells for his team to just roll over the game as another stomp for VP.
How do you get into... the problem is how do you get into the back lines here? You know, Save and Kingslayer's not even that squishy, let's be honest. And then Save, of course, you know, just has very nice positioning. Like, that needs to be the target that they possibly take out. We'll do a stun. Cookie hop. Laguna comes out on Nightfall. He doesn't seem to care. The toss. He says, get out of there, you silly Nightfall.
Doesn't even give him a chance to get even the reincarnate. It's too clean. It really is. It's always them getting the initiation, the jump too, so it forces the reaction from Winstrike, and they have no way to get into the back, as you mentioned, because they're the ones getting gone on. And yeah, VP just spamming the sprays, knowing that this one is impossible for this Medusa. Sure, they can actually like stone people, maybe survive sometime, but there is literal no damage for these 2 big cores.
Dyer's bottom tower.
If they get the BKBs off, which they are.
That doesn't quite connect this time around.
Radiant's top tower
Well, there's plenty more shackles where that one came from, and GPK is gonna toss the tree, clean up the creeps,
Dyer's bottom
do a little roll in front of these Medusa illusions. He doesn't care. Look at him.
Why would he? They don't hurt him.
Nope.
Dyer's bottom
They're
tower.
friends at this point. They're just like, hey guys, what's up? Stop tickling me.
Radiant's top tower.
And the itemization, it's just clean. Again, Nightfall, BKB, the Halberd, as we said, versus the Medusa, just in case of any damage, and then they're going straight AC. It's no clowning around today from VP.
I just crack up because, you know, we watched, you know, Nightfall. He got cookied out. He got tossed back. And then now, you know, you just see the whip being used on him. Like, Nightfall, come on. Carry us. Hurry up.
Solar Crest Whip, all the good
Get
stuff.
in
It's
there. Oh, Phantom him? He's out. He's out.
Get away. They just can't do anything, though. VP just dictating the entire pace of the game. Cruise control.
Yamich has himself the Shadow Amulet here.
He's trying to hide himself as far back as possible so he doesn't just get one-shotted.
I know, right? How do I get the jump? How do I...
1,000 HP. Die almost immediately if he gets connected by anything.
Oh, yeah.
Look for the cheap damage item. Needs any little bit that they can get. We see the Medusa pick up the Crystallis.
You know, again, we see Daracho. He's trying the best he can to find any breathing room where he can hit creeps, trying not to show up on these creeps. But over on the side, you know, VP, they're like, all right, Roche is back up. Next objective, here we go.
No funny business, as we said. He just cheese shard.
Centaur Shard.
One.
And the smoke's out on Winstrike. I think they're just using it to migrate back home.
It's surprising they didn't use like any of these earlier. I really did feel like they, they had maybe some options to be able to go for some type of counter ganks in this game, but it did never happen. VP literally were able to do whatever the hell they wanted this game, and
I mean, some of that comes down to just GPK having a great laning stage too.
Radiant's bottom tower.
He got that Blink Dagger online so quickly, and then everyone else is just cannon fodder at that point. Gonna try to clean up these creeps though. Gotcha. So the only tanky person really on the team that can come forward. A couple of these hits here. The Avalanche connecting. They'll get the LSA over on Nightfall. Turn them into statues for a little bit, but I mean...
gotta be so careful. Dratcha could just get tossed all the way into the fight.
I mean, I think that's what they're hoping here. And there's the toss. With the Earth Spike, do you have that? On the back line, so they get the jump. So they will be able to take that GPK first time. Wraithkin coming right back up to. Do they have the damage though? Can they do this? Save goes in with a nice shackle here. They're gonna try to burst them down, and it looks like they should be able to take down Cheshire Cat. Cheshire Cat, he's going to buy back. Nightfall, he's a big dude. He's just trying to chip down over onto Medusa. Save does fall, and eventually the Dratcha will go down to a scatter blast. They'll go in for this duel. Look at the damage coming out from Rainbow. Can they take him down enough? Do they have the damage cookie up forward? No, they can't take down Nightfall. They're gonna be able to turn it right back around again. Rainbow will fall. Cat also will go down, and Pataman will crumble. GG, well played comes out. Virtus Pro, they have done it, Fog. They've made sure that they haven't dropped a single series in this Season 2 of the Eastern European DPC.
Just another day work for VP. Pretty much flawless gameplay in this series. Little to no mistakes. DM, the one who takes the brunt of the force, but everybody else just super clean game. Love to see it, honestly. VP, I like when we see them not messing around either. Like, this isn't them like buying trolling items or anything, no armlets on like some enchantresses or anything like that. It's very straightforward, the approach that they're taking, and yeah,